In 1968, Desilu was sold to Paramount, which was its next-door neighbor, and that corrugated metal fence that had separated Paramount and Desilu Garo all those years was torn down, and Desilu was no more. So unless you read about it somewhere or a friend told you, there's no way for you to know that this part of the Paramount lot, the western part, was once Desilu Studios. There aren't any signs, there's nothing painted over. All that's left are just great memories.
Working at Desilu was great fun because first it was run by actors, comedians, Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. They had a certain kind of simpatico with people like from me who comes out of nightclubs and tells jokes for a living and then worked comedy shows. I worked at the Dick Van Dyke Show for them. There was just a fun atmosphere. It was like, you know, when young people are getting together and they hang up in the hills in their houses and talk about how great they're going to be and how wonderful life is going to be when someone recognizes them, when you're at Desilu, that's the way you were. You were there, you were being recognized, and you still felt like you were not employed in any stricter kind of sense. You were there as one of their friends, as one of their people, and you really generally had run of the lot. You could do what you want.
Here, let me tell you something about Star Trek. I never had such a good time in my life. I was welcome at the studio. There would always be somebody there probably working. I could go over to the cafeteria. I could wander through the sound stages while I'm working furiously on a screenplay, really, really working very, very hard, but hanging out and not feeling lonely and alone in a room. And I was welcome. What do? We are free to come and go, and nobody questions us. And the guards let us on freely, and there's parking space, and the cafeteria has certain regular eating hours, and there's always 3 or 4 guys coming in, and you're always welcome. And it turns into a bull session, a story conference, with each guy doing his act.
The funniest experience in Star Trek, and some people don't think it's funny, but I just fell down when it happened to me. Production, you know, production was always concerned about money, right? They're always going to talk about money. I get a call from production. It said, Fred, Shatner is sending in a bill, $15 for breakfast every morning. Now, that was quite some time ago, so $15 is a lot. So I said, what do you want me to do about it? And he said, well, he's the only one you listen, you're the only one he listens to. Can you go down and talk to him about it? I said, well, I don't want to go down and talk to a guy about breakfast, $15. They said, Fred, you got to do it, you know. So I go down and see Shatner. I go into the dressing room. I said, Bill, production is on my back. You're spending $15 for breakfast. So, you know, I said, that's an awful lot of money for breakfast. I said, how did you arrive at $15? He said, well, it's not just for me. I said, well, who else? He said, me and my dog. I said, you and your dog? I said, what does your dog eat? He's the same as me, bacon and eggs, potatoes, french fries, and coke. Well, I said to him, Bill, if you promise that we'll never repeat this conversation to anybody, forget it. I just walked out.